So in today's video, I've used FMSCOUT's brand new and exclusive bargain cheap under 21s Football Manager 2022 shortlist to build a team of 11 under 21 players that not only cost me a total of under 30 million, but also pretty good. Hello and welcome back to FMSCOUT. My name is Rhys, and coming up on today's show we'll be talking you through exactly what players are in our 11 for the total combined under 30 million, under 21s, exclusive, Wonderkids, sensational team. Okay, so no more beating around the bush here. First up in goal, Andre Gomez. An absolute find here, 16 years old. And the transfer value here on this save is anywhere between 120 grand and £4 million. My scout tells me he's a fairly consistent performer and handles himself in a professional manner. And you can see here in the top left, even though I'm at Man City, one of the best teams in the world, he's still got the potential to be a 3.5-star player. Arnu Martinez next, and again I apologise in advance for getting any pronunciations wrong. Valued at 1.3 million, that's it. You can see he's really good already, tackling, first touch, positioning, determination, these are all above 15s. Looking at his positions, you can see he can play right back as well as centre back, and my scout tells me he displays a fairly determined attitude, but also is a very consistent performer, one of the things I always look for when signing Wonderkids. Okay, so to play alongside Martinez at the back, we got this guy here, Kaiki, I want to say. I probably pronounced that incredibly wrong, but he's actually one of the best players on this list today. He's a 17-year-old Brazilian, 5'11". He's a centre-back, tackling and marking is already 14. He's got 14 vision as well as 14 jumping reach. If we look a little bit deeper into my scout report, again, we've got a fairly consistent performer that is good in the air here and has a balanced to normal personality. But look at this potential ability on the left-hand side. It goes all the way up to the maximum potentially. One of the more expensive players on the list. He'll cost you anywhere between 8 and 11.5 million, but for me I think that's a really good deal, getting one of the best young Brazilian centre backs around for that price is good. Next up, and I love this guy's name, Mathazinho. Okay, one of the best fullbacks or best right backs on the list over on FMSCOUT, and again I'll pop that list in the video description, the link to that, because it's a really good and extensive list. This is one of the best right backs on that list. Crossing, acceleration, agility, all already at 14, as well as passing. He's 20 years old and valued at 4.3 to 5.2 million. In terms of scouting, we can see that he's got a balanced to normal personality and possesses a fair amount of pace. No consistent performer in straight away. He'd come into this Man City squad and he'd be third choice right back already at the age of 20. Definitely one to keep an eye on, if not just for that name, right? Mathazinho. So at left back, we've gone for David Della Vibora, right? 12 crossing, 12 dribbling already, 15 bravery, 14 aggression. Obviously, he's left-footed, described here as a young fullback, but potentially could obviously become a Wonderkid, and I know media description can be quite fluid, as well as players' potential, right? So your game might be slightly different in terms of these players might develop better in your save than they do in mine, or even worse. But Della Vibora, you can play anywhere along that left-hand side. My scout tells me that he is a brave individual, and that means he goes into situations that other players would not. He's got a good understanding of the English language, which helps if you're an English team and you're looking at signing him, and he also displays a fairly determined attitude. Defensive midfield next, and you have to have at least one defensive midfielder in these lists, right? It could be so tempting to just whack 11 strikers in there, but that's not how you build a team, is it? We've gone for Junior Beta, someone who I've seen once or twice in my scout reports so far. I may have mentioned him myself already on the channel, but he can use either foot, which is key, and with tackling, technique, vision, work rate. But look at that, determination of 18 at 16 years old, already having 14 first touch. Definitely one to look out for. My scout tells me he's a determined individual. He's adept at using either foot, which obviously we found out earlier, and possesses a fair amount of pace. Our yin to our defensive midfielders, yang, is going to be Julian John Guerrero, another Spanish gentleman, 17 years old, so very, very young and a lot of developing to do. He's already got flair of 16, right? He's left-footed, passing's 13 already, and vision is 11. He's got finishing, first touch, and free kick taking, which could come in useful. More used to playing in a slightly more attacking role, so obviously would have to be trained a little bit in the midfield centre, but I think he's definitely got the attributes to do that, right? We've got a couple more kind of players who want to play in the centre coming up as well, but they just haven't got the defensive nous that this guy already has at the age of 17, or could potentially have when he improves. Again, my scout telling me that he possesses a fair amount of pace, has a balanced personality, and matches the new signing philosophy, which means nothing to you guys. But you can pick him up for around 300 grand, right? Or between 300 grand and £3 million, according to my scouts here. And don't forget, you can pick this whole team of 11 players up for under 30 million. Two wingers then in this system, or inside forwards really. Well, one winger and one inside forward, because Ransford here, and I'm just going to call him Ransford, right? Because I can't pronounce Ransford Yeboah, let's call him that here. 15 dribbling already, he's 19 years old, 15 agility already, 15 off the ball already. He's got a lot of stuff already. Likes to play at striker here, and you can't blame him, to be honest with you, but he'd be a great winger or even an inside forward potentially if you could train him on the left-hand side. I do like the look of that, but he's got a fairly determined attitude, possesses great pace, and can play in a number of positions. Ransford Yeboah, definitely one to look out for. Then we got Thiago Almeida, okay? He's been around for a few years now in Football Manager. I'm not really 100% sure where I'm going to fit him in the attacking positions. Probably like a kind of an inside left or an attacking advanced playmaker in the inside left kind of position, alongside the guy who we'll show you next. But he's just legendary, right? He's legendary in Football Manager so far, and you can see his stats there are really, really good in terms of passing, teamwork, vision of 15. Could be an argument to say that Thiago Almeida comes back into the centre midfield and swaps with the guy that we showed you earlier, because he can play anywhere on the pitch. He's slightly less comfortable further back, however. But if we look at the scout reports, we can see he is a fairly consistent performer, a strong penalty taker, which is not something you see all of the time. And his balance and ability on the ball make him a fairly skillful player, and he can play a number of positions. But look at that potential ability there. And don't forget, I'm Man City here, so he's like Man City level, and you can pick him up for between 5 and 8 million. Hugo Felix, then we've gone for like the centre attacking midfielder in this system. Flair of 17 already at the age of 17, natural fitness 14, dribbling 13, passing 14, and technique as well as vision of 13. You can see he does like to play a little bit deeper as well as more attacking centrally, but I just wouldn't trust him there because of these two, right? Marking 4 and tackling 4. Obviously he can develop, and that could get better, and he could turn out to be like, you know, the next Paul Scholes, who plays centrally but just can't tackle. But if we look at the scout report here, again, we've got fairly consistent performer, is adaptable when it comes to living in another country, and his ability to do the unexpected is one of the main reasons that he can go past a man. Between 1.9 and 3.7 million pounds you can pick him up for. What a bargain. Up front then, the 20-year-old Italian Lorenzo Luca already got finishing of 15 and heading of 17, as well as determination of 18 and jumping reach of 17. Look how tall he is, 6'7". Lorenzo Luca, you're not playing him anywhere else. You're not playing him out on the wing or in attacking midfield. You're playing him up front, right? With that height and that heading and that finishing. You can see he's a fairly consistent performer as well. It costs you anywhere between 525,000 and £5 million at the start of the game, and he's driven in pursuit of his goals. Whether that means his personal goals or his actual goals and assists, there's only one way to find out. So there it is. There's your 11. Go away, do what you want. You could sign a whole under 21s team if you're like Man City, for example, here for under £30 million. Do let us know if you sign them and how you get on with them. Do smash a like on the video if you've enjoyed it. Hit subscribe if you are new. Loads more Football Manager 2020 content coming out across the channel, obviously, in the coming days and the coming months. I've got my own Football Manager channel. If you'd like to see more from me personally, I'll link that above. Again, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you later.